Welcome to Mercy's Designs. My name is Mercy and I demonstrate Stampin' Up! Products. Today I'm going to show you the sampler I made, this harvest sampler for the fall, and I think it looks really cool. Now this does take quite a bit of time, so I have done quite a bit of work ahead of time, including coloring, but I will discuss what I did and do the basic assembly. So I have written down some of the dimensions here. So I used, of course, the 12 by 12 sheet, and Blackberry Bliss is like this matting and so forth. Now I will attempt to type this up and put it in the description, but in case I don't, here it is. And will have other details. So I used a variety of stamp sets to make this. I used Pretty Pumpkins, Nature's Harvest, Time of Giving, and Beauty of Tomorrow. And I was amazed how beautifully these went together. This will be in the holiday catalog for 2021. And these are the autumn themed type stamp sets, and they just really blend in beautifully together. I used a couple things that were not in there. Kind People Are My Kind of People. This and the die is from Simply Succulents. Celebrate Sunflowers had these greenery here, but for the most part it was the sets that I just showed you. Okay, so I will get started, and the first thing, I like to break it down by these squares. So the first one we will do will be this one. So give me 1 minute and I will get this started. Okay, so now we're ready to start our first panel. And I like to do a dry layout. So I will bring this in and start arranging. So I want my pumpkin here. And it helps, again, to do the dry layout so that you are not like finding yourself without space. So that is starting to look pretty good. I do have a dimensionals already on this. I had put this right here, and these are colored. So as far as the coloring is concerned, I used a group of about 5 colors. So here I have the Crumb Cake, and here Pale Papaya, Daffodil Delight, as well as I used some cinnamon cider on the darker parts. So I am not going to do coloring in the interest of time, but you can see kind of how it came together. I like to limit the color palette. So now I see that I need to put this up just a tad so I can fit it in. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start adding. If you're unsure, you can use a lighter adhesive than glue, or you can even use glue dots but not push it down. So I've done both techniques. But I've done this sampler a couple times, so I'm fairly confident about my spacing. So I'm just going to quickly put that down and then check here so that I know that I'm allowing enough space. Yes, that looks pretty good. The only thing, it looks a little crooked, so I'm just going to shift it. I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment. I'm not popping up the sentiment, but I am popping up a lot of the other elements. So I'm just going to put this up here. Isn't that pretty? Now to get this edging, all I did was use a sponge and knock it kind of on it, so it would have that cool effect and not blend, because this is actually white cardstock. Obviously it would just fade into here. So that is that. All right, so now we're going to bring in this other flower, and what I did here was it just kind of meets up with that other one, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my leaf and keep building. So here, if you have not seen the new catalog for the fall, the mini catalog, you definitely are missing out because it's really beautiful. I'm very excited about it. it's going live on August 3rd. So if you do not have a demonstrator, feel free to contact me and I will help you with the catalog and get you set up, because again, it's really a beautiful one. You don't want to miss this catalog. Okay, so the final bird is right here. And I wanted to point out something here. This is in Rich Razzleberry. I actually have just a glue dot here, so it will look like the bird is like, you know, swooping possibly. So that was my idea. All right, so this was panel 1, and we will set it aside and bring in the items for the harvest part, which is right here, and I will need to back out because this is a different angle. So I will set this aside for the time being and bring this in. Okay, so I actually used this plate from the for the Big Shot or the stamping cut machine. Anyhow, so I have already gone ahead and adhered to the Blackberry Bliss some Whisper White, and I've added the harvest part. And the reason why I did that is it's hard to get it straight and it's a little bit time consuming on camera. Now this cork I think is just super cool. I added a strip here, and this is 3/4 inch by 10 inches, which is the length. Now you might be wondering about this, why this is just butted up the white. Visually, when we put it together, it will look like it has the continued part of the matting here. But the reason why I did that is you can cut out 3 of these. This is 2 7/8, and you can get 3 of them on 1 sheet of paper. So I hope that makes sense and is not too confusing. All right, so we have our harvest, and I want to borrow the H. So unfortunately, this is a retired, from a retired die set, but you may be able to find something else to replace it if you don't have it, or maybe you possibly have this one. It's something script, I believe. I can't remember the name of it, but I will have that in the description as well. So definitely check out the description. With these samplers, there's so much that goes into it. I'm definitely going to forget to say something. And you can also ask questions. Of course, I always welcome that. So all I'm going to do here simply is cut off the H. So it just gets whacked off, and it will go right on here. Now, I do not have the Stampin' Up, which I should, the Stampin' Up adhesive sheets. So these adhesive sheets I got off Amazon, and they don't really stick that well. So buyer beware at a bargain. So I just add a couple drops here and there of glue. This one is the art glitter glue, which I do like for this sort of thing in case it oozes. It does not dry shiny. So that's why I use that one for that. The Tombow tends to dry shiny, which is not good. So isn't that cool? So now we have the happy. I love that sort of thing. And I definitely like using dies, letter dies for samplers. I just think it really adds something. And harvest and happy. So cool, right? All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is I did sponge this with pale papaya, and on my original I did not. I just left it white. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to do this one just a little different. So I am going to go ahead and add this, but we're going to try not to push it down because we're going to add some of the thistle and that greenery, that beautiful greenery. So when I'm building something like this, one of the things I definitely have to be careful about is getting it to lay right and look right. Oh, this one, if I'm going to space it like my other one, I need to move this over just a hair. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so no pushing down too hard. So here's the greenery that I was talking about from the stamp set from last year with the sunflowers, Celebrate Sunflowers, I believe it was called. And it's still current though, so I don't feel bad using it. The only thing I feel bad is I'm using a ton of different stamp sets, and I know that isn't possible for everyone to get all the ones that I'm using, but if you do have them all or want them all, that's definitely, except for the script set, they all are available. All right, so as of, actually I should have the caveat of as of August 3rd. I'm hoping to post this the day before that, but you know, it's hard to say. Sometimes life gets very busy, and my life seems to be very busy in the summer. Most people's is, but okay. So one of the things you can do is, and that I really appreciate about glue dots, is you can kind of add them after the fact if you're using like a pokey tool. So in this case, I kind of know where my positions are, so I'm going to put it right here. And I like this well enough, I think. My greenery. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so again, I'm just going to add a few glue dots just to secure this, and that way it's not going anywhere, but it's where I wanted it when I looked at it visually. So I think this is cool to sponge it over. It really looks more like a pumpkin than when you have it white, but white pumpkins are a thing too. So either way, they're both beautiful. Okay, one more glue dot there. And then we'll have the fun of just adding some random leaves. So here is one of my leaves. I'm just going to bring in my dimensionals here and add a few. So one of the things I don't want to do is add any of the gold leaves next to the gold letters, but otherwise try to just kind of have a random pop some of them up, of course, because we know how everyone loves these dimensionals. Okay, so there we have one here. Next, we're going to put in a gold leaf. So I do have this adhesive backing, which I'm complaining about my adhesive backing. I need to get the Stampin' Up type because this, quite frankly, is a little disappointing. I'm underwhelmed. So I'm just going to, though, add a glue dot to help secure it in this case. So, ooh, yeah, that wants to slide around. Okay, so I'm just going to add one there. Hopefully I have a good spacing there. I have the green leaf next. So I'm going to just add a green leaf and put that on. So the next little bit I will speed up. I'm going to be Okay, so now, now I'm going to start assembling the whole sampler, and I have brought in my base. Now, this piece of cardstock, I've added the Blackberry Bliss to it, and you can then see how this all comes together. So, first thing I'm going to do is start bringing in my panels. So I've got these, and I've got my beautiful thing here. And this is where it will make sense, start to make sense. So I have put pencil marks here. I measured, and it's 1 inch from the edge, here and here. And this will help me line it up perfectly. And again, I'm going to be borrowing from this mat here. Now it is slightly raised, but visually it's not very noticeable, especially when you have it on a sampler. If you have it on a card, maybe it'd be more of an issue. But I did not want to have to try to buy a bunch of 12 by 12 paper, because this comes out to actually 10 by 10. And of course that would not work. Okay, so again, I'm going to find my pencil marks at that 1 inch over here. And then it's just going to slide it. Because it's liquid glue, I can slide it right in place. See how that comes out just right? I think that's pretty cool. And now I can borrow this, and it looks like a complete mat. So that was the idea. I designed this sampler, and this part in particular, my upline helped me, and she helped me fine tune the whole thing. So it was so much fun, and we are going to be offering this as a class. So if anyone lives in the Cleveland area, they can definitely consider joining us. So I am now just going to start adhering these panels. So over here, and I'm just going to look, we're trying to have even spacing. That's the goal, but you know, don't get too obsessed. Some variation is not the end of the world. But I think this sampler is really cute, and I'm going to really enjoy having it. I put it in a frame that is a shadow box one, so they can be found on Amazon, or the one I got was from Joann Fabrics. So that Y keeps like reappearing. The H, I mean, not Y, for the happy. It got caught on my finger earlier. There, it saw it again. All right, so I'm just going to put this in place now, and I'm lining it up here, and hopefully I get this reasonably straight. Okay, so the final thing is to add our leaves over here, and I will bring those in. So I will pop those out. There's one leaf that goes, I didn't put it over here, and I do have another leaf that I forgot to add over here too. So we're just going to finish everything up. If there's something I forgot, now is the time. I will hopefully catch it. I will have still shots at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. If you have any stamping needs, please email me at mewants3@gmail.com, and I can help you place an order with a host code. So I'm trying to, look where I put everything on my other one. It's really not too important, the placement here. It's just a matter of personal preference. But sometimes when you're making a video, it's easier just to follow what you already have done. Okay, so cool. Now we're going to do the layout of these leaves. So of course we're going to pop a few up. I'll just use a big dimensional there, and another half one here just to make sure it's well supported. I don't really like sagging dimensionals. I'm kind of particular about that. So I'm going to just keep building. I'm bringing in the rest of my leaves, and we will get this all finished. So over here, I'm going to just pop this one up, this little one. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'd consider subscribing if you haven't to my channel. I try to post about every 2 weeks. That's at least my new goal. I had a long period where I wasn't posting, so I'm hoping to try to post at least every 2 weeks. So please hit that bell to get notifications when I have a new video uploaded. I love to stamp and mostly use Stampin' Up products. I'm a demonstrator, but so far with my channel have not had any customers that way, but it's all about sharing, I guess, right? At least for me. I know some demonstrators do all their business online, which I haven't figured out. Okay, so I was just about ready to finish up my sampler and I ran out of space on my memory card. So the only thing left here is to add one more leaf. So I'm just going to put this gold one here. And I believe our sampler is complete. I'm just going to look it over to make sure everything's down. It feels like it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it inspires you to try making a sampler. I think they're a lot of fun and they're really cool. So I'm just going to bring it up a little so you can see. I love these wildflowers. So thank you again for watching. Happy stamping.